I was thinking about something. I don't believe in the one mindset ideology when it comes to relationships. I think that two people should be individuals within a relationship. And I want to speak about this because I don't think a lot of people understand and really necessarily agree with this mindset. And it's not that I want people to convert over to this way of thinking. I just think it should be talked about because to be in a relationship where both sides are in a place where they feel it's normalized to message each other where they're going, what they're doing, who they're hanging out with, that it's almost an obligation to have them talk to them in this way. It's almost an obligation and a stressor for them to both keep this communication. And yes, communication is good, but I think trust should be number one. I think trust should be the foundation of every relationship, because a true, genuine connection between someone and another person is one that naturally takes form. It doesn't need anything else outside of it to keep the connection that it's creating on its own. And I think in a lot of relationships nowadays, and I can speak on this because I lived it, people are so used to that idea that my partner should be one flesh with me. My partner should be one mind with me, because if I'm not my partner, then what am I? My partner should be my first love. I should be my second love. And then it's my children and then whatever. I think that's distorted. I really don't think that is how I want to live. Because one, if you don't know how to love yourself on your own, how can you possibly love someone else outside of you if you don't know what that really feels like? You know, you're not going to be a physical trainer and teach some teenager how to deadlift if you have never touched a weight in your life. You could hurt yourself, you could hurt them. And then that teenager you taught could teach other people how they deadlifted, and now you're hurting more people than you really knew. And when it comes to something like love, that is powerful, because everyone in some way seeks love, you know. And I think that's a fallacy. I think that by putting your partner first before you really is not the best way to do it. Because when you do that, when you're like, I want to put them before me, one, that means that you are willing to change for them. Change without a second thought. Changing without first acknowledging if you want to change and if this change is good for you, because you're willing to sacrifice everything you have for someone else. Yes, that's loyalty. Yes, that's commitment. And there is something admirable in that. And I think people acknowledge that and see that, and they immediately think, oh, that's awesome. But then when is it time to acknowledge that you lost yourself because you are valuing this person outside of you? And I really wish that I knew to love myself first before I committed to a serious relationship. I can't change the past, but if now, knowing what I know now, I'm going to do that to continue on in my future relationships. And I feel that when I idolize this codependent relationship, I wasn't authentic. I found myself needing them. I found myself sitting without them. And in those times where I was just at work or I was just out with my family, all I was doing was thinking about them. That's exhausting. It's exhausting to always think about them. And then I wonder, why do I do that? It's because that's how my parents taught me to love. My parents taught me, and TV shows taught me to show love, you love bomb, because when you make a mistake, they'll remember the love bombing and see that those things outweigh each other. But love bombing really is just manipulation. It really is, whether you are subconsciously doing it or consciously doing it. It's manipulation to allow them to see a more vulnerable side of you, but in a way where they are now going to disregard those mistakes about you. Because someone who truly loves you is going to tell the truth, is going to be straight up with you. And when you are in a relationship that values love bombing, you can't do that. You really can't. Because all you have is that. That's all you have, is a relationship built off of manipulation. Maybe not manipulation in a way that a narcissist would do it, but maybe even worse, because you trust this person. You trust this person to tell you that they love you. So then you listen to them even more. But not everyone is correct all the time. And I think that's why it's so important to be you. How can I stay me when I want to commit to someone else romantically in a relationship? And I think I can do that by completely changing what I value. I think I want to value me. I think I want to value how I'm feeling. And someone told me recently that they wouldn't want to change anything about me, because those things that don't naturally flow with me and this individual, or maybe are a little bit opposite, we can acknowledge those together. Maybe they don't like how I have certain habits and things like that, but naturally those things that we do have in common that we are able to talk about, but it's almost serendipitous. It's not like manipulated and purposely molded. That brings the beauty to it all the more, because it was, like I said, serendipitous, almost beautifully aligned, almost divinely created for this to happen. So I believe that's the true beauty in a connection, that being able to recognize those beauties and the parts that are not as aligned with you, because those parts of them, you should be able to talk to the individual about this if it bothers you that much, but not in a way where if they don't change, you'll leave them. Because again, the most important foundation in a relationship should be trust. I should be able to trust my partner if I don't see them for a week. I shouldn't need to text my partner every day or call them every day. And if I don't, then I feel uncomfortable. And I acknowledge how I do this, but I know I don't want to. So it's almost like I'm dissolving a version of myself that I was so used to, because this was my security for many, many years. But I think subconsciously I always disliked it. I just didn't have the strength to bring it up, because I thought that's how you were supposed to love. You're supposed to love and be a little bit stressed out at the same time. That's silly. That's ridiculous. That is literally ridiculous, because how do you value something like that? How do you value something that you can't see the beauty within it all the time? And sometimes the beauty within it are those negative things about them, because maybe they're not negative anymore. Maybe they're just opposite from your view. It's just the way you perceive it. But even if I disliked, let's say, an activity that my partner did, but I witnessed them doing it and being fully their authentic selves, there is a beauty in that. Yeah.